Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxie Infernape, and this is my team builder and battle for week 3 of season 6 of the CPC. This week I'm playing my good pal Mio, coach of the Oklahoma City Thundurus. So I've not had the best start to the season. I'm 0-2 currently, not doing too hot, but hopefully I can bounce back and start to win. Because now I need to actually win. I mean, the first week, that's kind of fine. That's whatever. I can lose and still bounce back and be okay. Second week, I lost another one, and going into that, it'd be nice to win and get my first win there, but I could still be 0-2 and still be okay. But now I need to actually win, because if I'm 0-3, that's rough. That's tough to get out of. It's possible, but tough. So I'll put Mio's team up on screen and my team as well. My team stayed the same from last week, so I'm just gonna put that up. His team is Mega Lopunny, Victini, Mandibuzz, Nidoking, Primarina, Magnezone, Z Dragonite, Seismitoad, Lycanroc Day, Z Mismagius, and Abomasnow. So first off, I have this Klefki here, which is somewhat of a Mega Lopunny answer. This isn't like a super reliable Lopunny switch-in, but is more of a pivot and a potential switch-in. Especially if I show that my initial switch in to Lopunny is like my Reinforce or my Medicham, which means you want to click his normal stab, which means Klefki can take that pretty comfortably and not get plopped by a high jump kick or still take a good chunk of damage from a Drain Punch. So Rock Helmet is there mainly for Lopunny, or maybe for Dragonite too, that could help out, like on a fly or something. But Rock Helmet's there mainly for the Lopunny. The speed is just to help me creep Mandibuzz, and the defense allows me to live a return plus high jump kick from Adamant Mega Lopunny. The moveset here, Thunder Wave, is really nice to paralyze some things like Lopunny, Victini, or Victini Scarf. That can be really helpful too. Even if not Scarf, it can still be helpful. Or even paralyze like a Dragonite if he has some speed boosts. Dazzling Gleam is good stab at a lot of things on this team. Defog really helps my Articuno later in the game, and just helps me not have rocks up in the field, because my Reuniclus is regenerated or not Magic Guard, so it's going to be nice to have the rocks off the field and be able to defog them. And then Draining Kiss. I thought about a lot of different moves here. I had Magnetize. That was actually in the defog slot, but still, defog is. I opted for defog over Magnetize. Draining Kiss I went for over Hidden Power Ground, because I felt like I don't think the Steel Trapping Magnezone, whatever it's called, the actual ability, Magnapole. I don't think Magnezone is coming. Maybe some other kind of Analytic Magnezone or maybe Sturdy, but I don't think he'll be Magnapole. I feel like he's gonna expect me to do something to counter that, so I don't think he's going to bring Magnezone, and I don't think it has the best matchup anyways, so I have Drain Kiss to help me beat Mandibuzz, so I can actually get health back versus it, because Dazzling Gleam is not a Dukio, and I can't run Toxic to hit it because Prankster, and I could not run Prankster, but I love having Prankster Defog and Prankster Thunder Wave, so I felt like Drain Kiss is a good way to help me chip down the Mandibuzz, help me get back some health, as well as just to get it back health versus other things, and help me stay relatively healthy. Next off, we got my Mega Medicham here, a bulky Medicham. The speed, so I can also be a Jolly Dragonite that is creeping max speed, timid Heatran. I wanted to carry as little speed as I felt like I needed to. Well, that way I could have as much bulk and as much offense as I could have. The defense here allows me to live a Drain Punch plus a return from Adamant Mega Lopunny. Also, the reason I've been saying Adamant Mega Lopunny is because he's no reason to carry Jolly. The next fastest amount on my team is Floatzel, and to creep that, he needs to be just Adamant with almost max speed. It's 232 or something, or 228 or something, and then 32 HP. So that's probably the EV spread he's gonna have. So that's what my bulk is. What my bulk here is for. The reason I'm invested in defense alone and not really HP, just so I can. Well, my HP stat is as low as possible, so I can get back as much % of health from Drain Punch, and also because just investing directly in my defense allows me just to more quickly be bulky on the physical side and take physical as better. I don't have much special bulk at all, but I can still take hits decently well on the physical side, and this is just a nice pivot. From this, if I bring in Klefki as my first switch into the Lopunny, then I can bring in Medicham. He probably goes for a Drain Punch, so then I can just pressure him out with a Drain Punch of my own. Ice Punch, Poison Jab, Drain Punch, and Bullet Punch really is all the coverage I need. Hits everything on his team really. It's just really coverage for him, and that's a nice mon. If he's a Spadef Mandibuzz, I 2 KO with Drain Punch, I think, and I think I 2 KO with Ice Punch because I'm not too offensive. But if he's Fizz Def, then I don't quite 2 KO with Ice Punch, but I can still, after rocks, I can 2 KO with Ice Punch, which is nice. And it's just a nice offensive mon versus his team, as even though I'm not that offensive, or not invested too much in my attack, I can still hit really hard, so Medicham's just a beast. Next, we got my Roselli Garchomp here with EQ, Dragon Claw, Toxic, and Rocks. The speed is for It's max speed, Jolly Timid, or Jolly slash Timid Victini, or any speed boosting Teeny that's not scarfed. And then the HP allows me, or just the attack allows me to go at max HP Primarina with my Earthquake. So the plan is I'm going to lead with this thing probably, and if he does lead with Prim, which I feel like is a pretty safe lead and can get off a lot of pressure versus my team, and I'm a bit scared of that, then I can go for EQ. Even if he specs, I can take a Moonblast, and then another EQ would knock him out. I'd probably go for Rocks on the second turn because I feel like he'd switch, but still, it's just a nice lead. And originally I was Yachi, but I felt like if I lead this versus Prim, and I can't Oko it, or maybe I want to set up Rocks, and then I could just go down to a Moonblast, or enforce a switch. Like, I'm not in a good spot turn 1, and I don't want that immediate pressure, so it felt like Roselli's more practical. And also, even if I don't have to use the berry, I can still bluff that I'm a Z move, which is really good. So even if I don't actually get to use my item, it still has some value, which is a really nice bonus of Garchomp being a Z Crystal holder. I may also not bring Floatzel, so meaning if I'm bringing a Z Crystal, it's on Garchomp. Then Rocks and Toxic are my Toxic's really only for Mandibuzz. Maybe for Prim if it's like Fizdef, or maybe for Seismitoad, but mainly just for Mandibuzz, which just helps me weaken that down. Next we got Reuniclus here, Assault Vest. I brought this the Assault Vest regens at week 1. I'm bringing it again. It's a nice pivot into stuff like Nidoking, Primarina, Magnezone. This may just to an extent, even though it doesn't use Super Effective Stab. I can still take it pretty comfortably. This is just a nice check to his special attackers that hit hard. And Psychic and Thunder really hits everything I need to. Invar Ice just additional coverage to help me hit the Dragonite. I believe I can kill the Dragonite after Rocks with Invar Ice, so with the Rock damage and then him not being multi-skill, I should be able to Oko him. These Spaff are just so I can lift 2 Hydro Pumps from Modest Specs Prim, and I wanted to invest this way so that I can take I have as much physical bulk as I can to take hits from the Lopunny. I mean, mainly Lopunny, maybe like Lycanroc or Lopunny, but or Victini. But I don't really expect Lycanroc anyways, and Victini. I mean, you can help take one hit from Teeny, then hit it with a knockoff and do a decent chunk. Knockoff is nice to get rid of items on the Victini, which cannot carry a Z Crystal. Maybe on like Nidoking or on Prim, or like to knock off its specs could be helpful, or even to knock off Mandibuzz with the leftovers. Your Rocky Helmet can be really nice. And then yeah, Thunder is a bit risky, but I don't get Thunderbolt on Reuniclus for some reason. It just doesn't get Thunderbolt, which it is what it is, I guess. So I'm getting Thunder, which is a bit risky. Hopefully I don't have to use it. This can help me get off some damage with Mandibuzz, maybe get a Para. Also does hit the Primarina up. I'll probably be clicking Psychic just because I want to get that thing weakened. Don't necessarily need to kill it or do as much damage as Thunder, but Thunder does. But if I need that damage from Thunder, then I do have that, which is nice. Next, we got my Scarfed Articuno, Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, Hidden Power Ground, Tailwind. I was debating what to do with this set for a while. Originally, I was Life Orb 3 attacks Roost, but I felt like Scarf's really nice. This does give me something to outspeed the Lopunny here, which is great. Ice is really easy to spam versus his team's only resists are the Magnezone and the Victini, and I don't really expect Magnezone. I mean, it could come. It does have some viability in the matchup, but Victini is definitely possible. But if it's not Scarf Victini, then I can actually outspeed it, which is good. And then Hidden Power Ground, it's a coverage for those two, and then everything else gets hit by a Freeze Dry. And if I don't expect either of his water types to come in, then Ice Beam is a nice move to click. Or even if Seismitoad comes in, that's still neutral. So really, if anything but the Prim comes in, then Ice Beam is a good play too. So it's just a nice mon. Modest does give me some extra offense, so I'm gonna hit pretty hard. And I can 2KO Mandibuzz. If he's like max Bidef with leftovers, I don't quite do that, but then my Medi can 2KO him, which is fine. So that's why I feel like Articuno plus Medi can take out the Medicham, or take out the Mandibuzz and deal with that. So I'm not too concerned. I did want to be timid for the Dragonite, so it can have to be Jolly Dragonite, but I felt like even if he is a Jolly +1 Dragonite, do some other things, something to deal with it, like Thunder Wave on my Prankster Klefki, and like Medi's Bolt Punch, and I feel like I have enough bulk on a lot of things to take a hit, like maybe my Reuniclus can, or maybe Klefki. So I feel like I can also deal with Dragonite if he's Jolly, and I feel like I don't think he's gonna be Jolly. I think he's gonna expect my Articuno to be timid and not to be that if he knows I'm the Scarf. So yeah, that's why I'm modest, and I feel like I need the power to help me deal with Mandibuzz here, because I kind of need this thing to help me deal with Mandibuzz, and this thing can switch into Mandibuzz pretty comfortably, even if it wants to knock off my Scarf. I'm very okay with that, because I can Tailwind and get a boost into this, which can then hit hard later, and then it might just be able to clean up if the rest of his team is in proper range, or even just pass a Tailwind into like Medicham or Garchomp, which could be really helpful. So I feel like this is just a nice set, and it's still fine if it does lose its Scarf, as it does still have a lot of value if it does lose it. And last but not least, we have another Scarf Reef Umbreon. Scarf Umbreon making an appearance. What a boy. This thing is mainly to help check the Victini and to help me pivot into that. I can trap it with the Pursuit. I can throw up a Wish and then either sack off Umbreon, like if it's going to die that turn, then bring something else, or just Wish, like throw up a Wish and then pivot into something else. Snarl's helpful if I think Primarina's coming in, mainly for that, and that thing is a pretty safe switch-in. A Snarl does help if I can go for Snarl and switch, then maybe either sack off Umbreon to just spam Snarl, or just put it to -1, well, if he specs then neutral. That way I can switch in decently to my like Reuninclus or maybe Klefki. So I felt like Snarl is just a nice helpful move here. Now this one does have to be Mega Lopunny if he's creeping Floatzel. Does not have to be Mega Lopunny if he's like max speed or anything faster than what he needs to have to be Floatzel. So I'm creeping that exactly, but I feel like that's what he's going to carry. I don't think he has any need to carry any more speed than the speed for Floatzel. So I feel like this speed is very okay and should be able to outspeed the Lopunny. I don't think he's going to predict a Scarf Umbreon, so I don't think he's going to be creeping that with his Lopunny, so I feel like this is okay. Foulplay doesn't hit it too hard, but still, just Foulplay does allow me to hit some stuff pretty hard, and I can outspeed Dragonite, unless he has a boost, but if he's adamant, he still outspeeds me, then, I mean, I've Articuno to outspeed that. Also, yeah, speed on Articuno, by the way, the exact speed, I forgot to say what it's for, but it's for, if Adamant Dragonite is creeping max speed Modest Heatran, if he's predicting like the Scarf Modest Tran, then that's that speed's for. The defense on Umbreon, so I can let a V create from a Jolly Bandit Victini, and then just rest in Spadef. And yeah, it's just a nice pivot into things. I can throw up a Wish, I can Foul Play, and it's bulky but also still fast, and I mean I don't need any offense really, so this thing does its job, and I think it's gonna be a nice pivot into a lot of stuff on the team. So let's get into the battle. Alright guys, so I'm back with the battle, as you can see. So I'm not going to bother reading off the mons. I think I did this last week, because you guys can see the mons that are on screen. But I'll just kind of briefly go over my team if you didn't see the team builder. We got a Fizzstaff, Rocky Helmet Klefki, a pretty bulky Mega Medi, a Roselli, pretty bulky Garchomp, an Assault Vest Regen, Reuninclus with 4 attacks, Scarf Articuno with Tailwind, and a 3 attacks Wish Scarfed Umbreon. So my leader right here is going to be my Garchomp, as I'm expecting either Seismitoad or maybe Nidoking, maybe Prim, or even like Mandy. Or honestly, any of his mons could lead, probably not Miss Magus, but it's like he could lead Lopunny, just try to fake out. Or really, a lot of his mons are viable leads, but I feel like Garchomp is a pretty safe lead versus most of them. So I'm just going to lead with Garchomp, as he does lead with Nidoking, which is pretty scary for me, as his lead here shows me that he's probably pretty comfortable with a Garchomp lead, so meaning he's either Shuka or Sash, I'm expecting, so. And I'm not Yashi anymore, so I don't just want to go for Earthquake, have him live, and then Ice Beam and knock me out, or even be Scarf and just knock him out with Ice Beam, that'd be bad too. So I'm just going to write in my very safe switch in my Reuninclus, as he could just set up Rocks, or maybe Ice Beam, which he does just Ice Beam as I do Chew, and now he sees that I'm either like really Spadef, like max, or just Assault Vest. I think I have to be Assault Vest to live that hit as well as I did though. But I'm just gonna go right for the safe knockoff, as I don't think he'll stay in. I think Mandibuzz is likely switching, and I can get rid of its leftovers, which is really nice. And now I'm just gonna go hard on my Articuno, as he does knock off himself, which does get rid of my Scarf, but that is okay, as I can Tailwind and still I can now change my moves. I did go for Freeze Dry, just pretty safe. He could have gone into Prim, not expecting that, so I felt like that was a fine play, even though Ice Beam would have done more to Lopunny. Now, I originally did actually freeze Lopunny, but since I'm a nice guy, I offered to restart, because freezing is kind of bullshit, so, yeah. Here's a not frozen Lopunny, as he's just going to go for what I expected to be either Fake Out or a High Jump Kick, as a High Jump Kick was the only move he could have gone for to kill my Articuno, and I think it was even a roll, but I could have definitely lived a return, a Fake Out plus a return, or even plus a Drain Punch, I think Fake Out plus return definitely killed Articuno, maybe plus a Drain Punch, but I didn't want to stay in and lose Articuno because I went for High Jump Kick, so I went into Reuninclus, as he just went for the Fake Out here. As here, I think I double into Klefki, expecting him to go into Mandibuzz, as he does go into Seismitoad, which is alright for me. I don't Magnetize anymore, but that's fine. I can just go right back in my Articuno and pressure his team. Might just get Rocks now, as he does do that in a second, which is fine now. I can just go for a safe, I think go for Ice Beam, expecting him to want to go into Lopunny again. As now I'm just going to Freeze Dry. I guess he thought I would Ice Beam again. But I just went for Freeze Dry because he might stay and might go into Prim there on the Ice Beam. So if he went into Lopunny, then I mean, I wouldn't have got off as much damage as I could have, but I sort of got off a good chunk. The reason I went for Ice Beam the previous turn was because if he brought in Low Punny, then it would be in range to die to a Rocky Helmet hit from Klefki. That's why I felt like getting off that extra damage from Ice Beam would be really nice. If I go for a Freeze Dry, on the incoming Low Punny, I don't think it's quite in range of, no, it's not quite in range of another, it's not quite in range of dying to Rocky Helmet hit, but he did just stay in as I went for the Freeze Dry that turn. Which is really nice for me, so I just pick off Plasma Toad, and I can default later with Klefki to get rid of those rocks that are now up. So in comes the Miss Magius, as I can live any hit, but I do want to keep Articuno healthy, and I have a free save switching in my Umbreon, as he does go for the Nasty Plot. So if he is a Fairy EMZ, then a Z Dazzling Gleam will be able to knock me out from this range, but I do outspeed, so I can at least get off a Foul Play, get off that damage. As I'm just gonna go right for the Foul Play, as he did not expect me to be Scarfed, as he does just go for the D Gleam, which does do a lot because I'm not Spadef. I am still like almost max HP, but still not that bulky. As now I'm just gonna go over for another Foul Play. I didn't really expect him to stay in, but I couldn't really make that risk of a switch, and I felt like still I can just get off damage on whatever comes in, probably Prim. As in comes the Prim, which I do sack off my Umbreon because I didn't really need it at that point. I mean, it already finished its job and switching to the Miss Magius, and felt like it didn't really need it much more. I mean, it could get off some shit versus Low Punny. It does that speed, I guess, and now that my Articuno is not Scarfed, I guess I don't have that speed, but Low Punny's getting chipped, and again, could be in Bullet Punch range soon. And I do still have Medicham healthy for that, so I'm not really concerned. And I feel like, and with him having Prim too, I feel like Umbreon wasn't too helpful later in the game with Rocks also being up. Then if Rocks don't go away, then Umbreon can only come in one more time, and I felt like I didn't really need Umbreon, so I felt like it's my best play to sack it off and not have something else to take damage. So I'm just going to bring in my Meteor. If he is Kabia, this is scary, but I don't think he would be Kabia for the matchup, and I felt like Poison Jab is just a safe play overall, so I'm just going to bring in my Medi, which is really the only thing I have to immediately threaten this thing. I mean, I could bring in Reuniclus to take a hit, and Garchomp can also take a hit because of the Roselia Berry, but I didn't want to risk it, and I felt like I'd say when Garchomp taking all the damage, so I felt like Medicham was the best play, and yeah. So I'm just gonna go right for the Poison Jab here. Also, with Umbreon being so low and dying to that Moonblast, I have no knowledge of a set here, as any Moonblast from any Prim would knock me out. So I don't have any knowledge there, but I feel like Medicham is just my best play overall. So I'm just gonna go right for the Poison Jab, as he does stay in. I guess not expecting the Poison Jab, or maybe just needed to sack off the Primarina. As he does bring in Low Punny, he does go right for the Fake Out. And I thought, so because of that damage, he'd see how bulky I am, and I thought he'd just go right into Mandibles and not click return with Low Punny here, because I thought, he'd realize that how bulky I am and that I'd be able to live. And it wasn't guaranteed actually that I would live this return, but I had a very, very high chance to based on my bulk, and I thought he'd see that based on the Fake Out damage. And I think he had a pretty low roll too in the Fake Out, so that might make it seem like I'm even bulkier. But I'm just gonna go right for the Ice Punch, expecting him to go right into Mandibles, which I could 2KO from that range, or not quite, but almost 2KO. I think depending on rolls, I had a chance, but I was still fine going with Ice Punch. I mean, if I went for Drain Punch, I would have got back a lot of health and not be in range to die to Rocks, but Ice Punch was still a fine play, as he would be in range to die to a Bullet Punch, which is exactly what I do, and I don't think he'll have the Quick Attack. I think he'll be like Fake Out, Return, High Jump Kick, and then either Drain Punch or Ice Punch, but so I don't really think he'll have the Quick Attack too, or maybe even have that Power Punch. So I felt like I was fine to just click Bullet Punch there, and I was. So it does come to Mandibuzz, and I don't need to sack off Medi, as I can keep it around for 1 for differentials, and 2, because if I can default later with Klefki, then I'm fine. As I'm just gonna go right into Klefki, as he does wisely click the U-turn. So Klefki will get off some Rocky Helmet damage here. He takes more than he did to me, which is kind of funny. And then comes the Nidoking. So I meant to pause it before, but I know I'm just losing my Klefki here to what is most likely the Earth Power. But I was fine with this, as getting rid of the rocks allows my Articuno to still be healthy when it comes in and not be low, and also allows my Medicham to actually come back in, as if rocks are still up, it does not come back in. So just getting off the Prince default was really helpful here. Klefki would have been nice for the Mandibuzz, but I do still have Garchomp to Toxic. I still have Articuno to hard, and I felt like I can deal with the Mandibuzz, and I don't need my Klefki here to deal with it. So I'm just gonna sack off Klefki for the default, as I do get rid of the rocks, as Klefki does go down to the Earth Power. I'm going to bring in my Medicham, as expecting him to be Shuka, and the damage earlier on Reuniclus, or on on that, I forgot to mention, it showed that he is modest and no boosting items, so no Life Orb or anything, no specs. So probably Shuka. If he was Sash, he would have left the Ice Punch, in which case I could have gone into like Articuno or Garchomp the next turn. Probably Garchomp. But I thought he'd be Shuka, so I can just safely go for the Ice Punch as I do, and down goes the Nidoking. In comes Manbuzz. I'm just going right into Garchomp because I can get off a Toxic on this and also get off some Rocky Helmet if I want to get rid of my item. As in comes this, which I don't have speed, but I can take any hit. Even if it is a Z Dazzling Gleam, I do have my Roselia Berry to take that hit, so I'm fine staying with Garchomp, and I can just click Dragon Claws. He does, I guess, predict me to switch. Probably into Reinquest, so it goes to Manbuzz, but I'm fine staying in, as I can just get off the Toxic on Manbuzz, and now I'm fine, and now I can just go into my Articuno, which can definitely beat this thing, and it's not even going to have to take too much damage in the process, because I already have this thing Toxic and weakened. I'm just going to go right for the Tailwind, as he does U-turn, I guess, just doing whatever he can, but now I'm in a great spot to win, as I assume he's going to be able to knock out that, as I do speed in the Tailwind, and Manbuzz is going to die to the Poison. He's not even going to bother roosting, which is fine, because I would have won anyways. So we do take that home in a 4-0, getting our first win of the season, which is awesome. It is a big burden off my shoulders. I felt like first 2 weeks were kind of rough. I felt like I still played fairly well and built some very competent teams, but I felt like this week I put some things together, and I like what I did. I feel like I built a good team. The dual Scarfers worked out pretty well. And the bulky Medicham and bulky Garchomp worked out well, as they were still able to be offensive enough, but still bulky and able to pivot. And I liked the team. I felt like it was very practical this week. It was meant for exact situations and scenarios, and I felt like I prepped well, and I prepped it according to how I wanted to play, and I think it went well. So I'm glad that like the Tailwind on Articuno and the Defalk and Klefki, just some things I was thinking about last minute, and some things that I was really just thinking about a lot, and really thought, and were considering my options. I felt like I made the best moves in the end, and prep, and I felt like those really paid off. So glad to pick with this win. We're now 1-2, still not a good record, but we are building our way back. Next week we do play Shadow, the Commissioner of the League, so that would be a fun one. I did make some transactions actually, which I will mention now, and will be in effect starting next week. So I dropped a little Marowak, which I only had for 2 weeks and only bought once. So yeah, I dropped a little Marowak and Umbreon, which were a total of like 20 points, I think, being 11 and 9, and I picked up 11-point Heracross, 8-point Drapion, and 1-point Marshtomp, which does take up all 3 of my free agent transactions, but it does give me a lot of nice things. It gives me some more speed and some more pivots, and I mean, I did lose some bulk there. I did lose the Rocker, but also picked up a Rocker. I feel like, and also got a knockoff user, as Umbreon is not a Dark type that's a knockoff user, and Drapion is. So I felt like those transactions will help out my team a lot overall, and I really like what he did there. So next week, hopefully those transactions could help me, or maybe I won't even bring them. I don't know. But yeah, I'll see you guys next Thursday, or maybe Wednesday if I want to do a separate team builder. But I didn't this week, but I don't know. I'll probably not next week, because I'll be away next week. So I don't know. But I'll see you guys then. Peace out.